They're dark, grim, and dreadfully ominous. Even amongst a large group of skilled fighters, they stand out with their battle-hungry personality hidden behind a mask of dead calm.
These are your FGC edgelords.
Like Guts 222, the FGC's vengeful swordsman and Combo Heaven's Angel of Light.
Or Verbata, relief and fierce ghost of an Inra.
Both players have incredible skill and share the goal of becoming the next major player in the NRSC. But which of these emo combatants come out on top?
He's Combo Heaven, and it's your boy Vision.
And it's our job to analyze their weapons, armor, and skill to find out who would win a death battle. If you were to see Verbata in person, you would think he was nothing more than a short and scrawny kid that liked to keep to himself. But behind his deterred and uncaring demeanor lies one of the greatest child prodigies to ever touch the NetherRealm Studios community. Dubbed Magdio Sanchez by his mother, young Maggie grew up in a steady Cuban-American environment. He learned how to cook and fish, and was taught the importance of hard work and passion. Magdio had been instilled the early-on mindset of excelling in life being the pursuit of something you love with everything you have.
Going through life, excelling in school and excelling as a cook, he found that he has some aptitude for all of these things. However, the one thing Magdio truly loved was video games, but not just any video game. He fell in love with Mortal Kombat. Magdio was introduced to the franchise through 2005 smash hit Shaolin Monks. However, his interest truly peaked in the 2011 reboot, where he was introduced to his idol character, Thomas Verbata, also known as Smoke.
By the time Mortal Kombat 11 came out, he had decided to commit fully to the game and explore what it's like to pursue a living through gaming. He started off by simply making content, and after some modest success, he decided he was ready to perfect his brand as a player, and by picking a main character, switching to competitive content.
After almost a year of trial and error trying to pick up a character himself, Magdio was able to meet Sikander 555, one of the most iconic names in the fighting game community. Sikander and his colleagues took Maggie into his wing and taught him how to utilize Sub-Zero, Smoke's best friend and fellow member of the Lin Kuei. This was a very enlightening experience for Magdio, and after 2 months of rigorous training by Sikander and his training partner, the Ghost of an Inra Verbata had debuted in the competitive scene of Mortal Kombat 11.
Sub-Zero's greatest attributes are his overhead and low 50-50 mix-ups. With this in mind, Verbata was taught Fuyo no Rashudan by Sikander. Fuyo no Rashudan is a playstyle that's all about building up aggression and tension by slowly working your way in during a fight, and unleashing that energy with hardcore rushdown mix-ups. An ideal sequence with this playstyle is working your opponent to the corner and keeping them there for the rest of the match. This meant that the meat of this fighting style's effectiveness was the amount of damage you could deal by guessing right on mix-ups. Luckily, Magdio has just that. Verbata is the only known competitive Sub-Zero player that can consistently get over 50% off of both overhead and low mix-ups. Where a lot of Sub-Zero players would settle for easy combos, Magdio goes all the way. This means that Verbata's rushdown is significantly more dangerous than any other Sub-Zero player. If you couldn't avoid MVG getting up close and personal, your first guess would easily become your last.
His playstyle was very effective on casual and low-level competitive players, but whenever he fought against the more experienced players, he found himself incapable of consistently enforcing pressure even when he got in. I know that feeling. This was frustrated MVG and one of his allies at the time. Mr. Anonymous noticed this. To try and help, he and his training partner, True Grandmaster, enlisted Verbata into the Black Chaos Clan, the same clan that was responsible for multiple atrocities toward the Combo Heaven community.
Under Grandmaster's wing, MVG unlocked his Chaos form, a state of mind that uses pent-up aggression as a way of accelerating the combo execution and attack speed of a player. While this did help MVG beat a few opponents he wasn't able to before, it came at a drastic cost to his mental health. He would constantly lash out and butt heads with his friends and family, so much so that his parents put him up for counseling.
Without going into too much detail about what was discussed, Magdio was getting stronger as a player, but he needed to understand the big picture. Magdio had to decide what type of player he wanted to be. Ultimately, he came to the conclusion that the way he was improving his skills and abilities isn't a path that he'd be proud of, so he put a stop to all of it. He abandoned Black Chaos, de-associated with Sikander's community, and completely rejected both his Chaos form and Fuyu no Rashidan. He needed a fresh start. That's when he met up with a man who went by Coma Therapy, who brought him to his clan, Relief and Fear. It was with this team that MEG finally found a place where he felt he belonged.
He quickly garnered new training, experience, and friendships with a multitude of Rift members. Not long after, he finally reached his full potential as an MK11 player. He was taught and mastered Fuyu no Kiri, a playstyle all about utilizing movement to transition back and forth between playing neutral, zoning, and applying rushdown force. To play like this, Verbata learned wave dashing, flawless blocking, micro ducking, and reactive punishing.
He's bested yours truly, Combo God Gaming, outpaced Grandmaster Messi in a mirror, overloaded Sage of Six grabs, and even once fought Sikander's training partner, Crazy J, to a standstill. After 4 years of struggling, Magdio was truly able to come to his own and find a way to rise up while staying true to who he was and who he wanted to become. As we move forward into the new age of NetherRealm games, you would be wise to keep a good eye on Verbata.
Where there is smoke, there is fire.
Guts 222 is a very unique and powerful player in the NRS community, hell-bent on the goal of being recognized globally as the best of the best. But before he became a pro-level Scorpion Demon, he was just another edgy Puerto Rican teenager named Alex. Alex grew up around many obscure things that influenced his personality and lifestyle, the two main things being the anime Berserk and violent video games. Growing up playing Mortal Kombat with his father, he grew to love the franchise after he decided to get good enough at the game to beat his dad as many times as he wanted.
He enjoyed how good it felt to completely demolish his opponent and display his dominance. By the time Mortal Kombat 11 came out, Guts decided to go all in on the game and committed to his all-time favorite character, Scorpion. After developing his skills, he decided to express his newfound talent through content creation and competitive play. His YouTube channel started gaining decent traction after being promoted by Waz, and after being admitted into Damascus Gaming, his competitive abilities skyrocketed.
Guts is very bare bones in terms of his approach. According to Guts himself, he doesn't have a particular playstyle. He just combines his combo execution with pressure cancels and aerial mobility to fan out his opponent's counterplay options. Once the opponent is all out of defense, he goes in for the kill, unleashing high damage combos. He's also one of the best converters in the entire NRS scene. His extensive time in the lab made it to where he can get good damage off of any punishment under any circumstance.
He even takes it a step further by using interactables consistently, a trait commonly associated with combo artists such as Winsert and Shinless. He's bested plenty of high-level players in individual sets, one-shotted by Saikoshi, and severely overwhelmed the full-power Hinjins, who's considered to be the best Jackie player in the entire world.
The same Jackie player who can counterplay high-level defense on reaction down to the last frame. Despite his potential, DG dropped Guts as a competitive player, and ever since that day, he's made it his mission to prove that DG made a grave mistake by letting him go. He's now allied with Combo Heaven and joined his new esports team, the Guardian Angels. As the Guardian Angel of Light, Guts intends to demolish tournaments and even participate in offline majors, an opportunity DG was never able to provide. Now part of a team that appreciates his talents, Guts will cut away to the top of the FGC with a gang of angels watching his back. Fear the FGC's vengeful swordsman.
Vengeance will be mine!
Alrighty, Combo Crew, the fighters are ready and the stage is set. We've run the data through all possibilities.
Now, it's time for a death battle!
This should be played at high volume.
Our combat is renewed, Scorpion.
It never ended, Sub-Zero.
It will end today.
flesh will melt.
Sheesh! Now I know why Guts' variation name is called Rip and Tear.
Indeed. This was a very tough matchup to figure out. Verbata technically has better training, and his combo execution feats both in damage and in swag outpace anything Guts is capable of.
With enough luck and commitment, there are definitely versions of this fight where Verbata takes the win by simply taking out all of Guts' health in one life or death guess every single match.
More often than not, though, Guts' tactical experience, unique playstyle, and variant arsenal of tools overwhelm Verbata.
First off, Guts has easy counterplay tools for Verbata matchup-wise. Any version of Freeze would be almost useless to MVG because Guts could just teleport. The same applies if he were to try and use air projectiles. Verbata does have the slide, but unfortunately at full screen, Guts could easily react. Up close, Scorpion can actually disrespect creeping ice on block, which means that Verbata loses the ability to keep himself safe. If it were any other Scorpion player, these would be mere annoyances. But Guts has an important stat advantage that turns these annoyances into serious problems. Guts is faster than Verbata.
In a King of the Hill battle, Guts used Sin Blade to bounce an incoming Cabal player using Slight Gas on reaction. The player in question was SuperNova, the fastest player in Combo Heaven history. If that's not enough, he did the same thing against Hijinks, the strongest Jackie player in the world. The attack and reaction speed needed to pull off a feat like that is at least 3 times faster than Verbata's best recorded counterattack.
Guts also has better experience. As a former member of DG, Guts used to train with King Gambler, the highest placing Sub-Zero player in the NRS scene. Guts was more than prepared to deal with a high-level Sub-Zero.
In contrast, MVG almost had zero high-level experience against Scorpion players. Certainly nobody on Guts' level. For Verbata to get anywhere, he would need to either be fast enough to close the distance between him and Guts safely, or clever enough to bait Guts out to get combo punishes.
But combo? What about Chaos Form, which buffs the user's attack speed and combo execution? Couldn't Verbata use that to close distance?
Well, for one thing, note that Verbata completely divorced his Chaos Form and learned a completely new art and style of fighting. He should theoretically have no access to Chaos Form anymore, but even if he did, Chaos Form boosts stats, not knowledge. Closing the speed gap wouldn't get rid of the fact that Verbata has no smart way to approach Guts. In fact, the mental anguish would just double down on that weakness, and Verbata would get a lot more reckless mid-fight. Guts could capitalize, and the fight would end even faster.
This was never going to be an easy fight. MVG has a lot of tenacity and skill.
But Guts had the speed, IQ, experience, and execution to win this fight.
Well, I guess you could say Guts wanted all the smoke, but Verbata didn't have the guts for it.
The winner is Guts 222.
Next time on Death Battle.